We all want to be good with money, right? But what if the real secret isn't about what you know, but about how you think? Well, today, we're diving deep into the powerful ideas from Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money.
You know, you can do everything by the book. You can master every single financial strategy out there, read all the bestsellers, build these incredibly detailed spreadsheets. You can really feel like you've totally cracked the code. And yet you see it all the time, don't you? Brilliant people, doctors, engineers, you name it. Folks who are at the very top of their game, making financial decisions that just seem completely bonkers. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, here it is. This is the core idea of the whole thing. Being good with money has very little to do with how smart you are. It's almost entirely about how you behave. It's about your emotions, your own personal history, and the stories you tell yourself about what wealth even is.
Okay, so first up, let's get into the internal game. We're talking about the psychology happening inside our own heads that pretty much dictates every single financial move we make. So it turns out we all live inside what you could call a financial reality bubble. The thing is, your own experience with money, the decade you were born, what your parents went through, that's just a teeny tiny sliver of all financial history. But to your brain, oh yeah, that feels like 100% of the truth.
Just think about it for a second. If you graduated right into the teeth of the 2008 financial crisis, you might look at the stock market like it's a giant trap for the rest of your life. But what if your first big investment win was during the crypto boom in 2017? You might think these wild, crazy swings are just normal. The thing is, neither person is crazy. They're both just acting rationally based on the tiny slice of reality they've actually lived through.
And that little bubble of personal experience, it leads us right into another mental trap. We completely underestimate the massive role that luck and risk play in everything. We just love these neat and tidy stories where hard work always equals a great outcome. But the real world, it's so much messier than that.
I mean, take the story of Bill Gates. Was he a genius? Absolutely. No doubt about it. But he also had a 1 in a million stroke of pure luck. He just happened to go to one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer back in the 1970s. That head start was an unbelievable advantage. It's a really powerful reminder to stay humble when you succeed and be a little more forgiving of yourself when you fail, because luck and risk, they're always part of the equation.
All right, so that's the stuff happening inside our heads. But how does that translate to how we act on the outside? Well, this brings us to a huge trap. The game of social comparison.
This quote just nails the paradox perfectly. We think that by spending money, we're proving to everyone how much we have. But the reality is, every single dollar you spend on a flashy car or a designer watch is a dollar you no longer have. It's gone. It's a direct trade-off.
We have this tendency to judge other people's wealth by what we can see, right? The fancy car, the huge house, the exotic vacations. But that's not wealth. That's just spending. Real, actual wealth is what you don't see. It's invisible. It's the money that you didn't spend. It's the investments quietly growing, the savings in the bank. It's the assets that buy you freedom and options in life. And here's the kicker. If you're out there buying that expensive sports car to get people's admiration, you're falling for what Housel calls the man in the car paradox. Because when people see you drive by in that Ferrari, they don't think, wow, that driver is so cool. Nope. They think, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. They're not admiring you. They're just using your stuff as a mirror for their own desires. It's wild, right? Okay, so if spending money to look rich is a losing game, then what actually works? This brings us to the third and maybe the most powerful force in all of finance, good old-fashioned time.
Just look at this number. It's absolutely staggering. We all know Warren Buffett is a legendary investor, but his real superpower isn't just his skill, it's his time horizon. He's been investing for over 80 years. The vast majority of his fortune was earned after he was already retirement age. That's the mind-blowing power of compounding, where your returns start earning their own returns, and it all just snowballs exponentially.
The problem is, compounding isn't intuitive at all. It doesn't feel like much is happening at first. It's a really slow burn, kind of like planting an oak tree. For years, not much seems to happen. The really explosive, mind-bending growth only happens after decades of quiet, consistent, and frankly, boring progress. And that requires a level of patience that most of us just don't have.
But here's the thing. To get those amazing long-term returns, you have to be willing to stick around for the journey. And that journey, well, it has a cost.
So what exactly is that price of admission?
This is such a crucial mental shift. Those scary market crashes and downturns, they aren't a fine you pay for getting something wrong. Think of them as the fee. They are the price of admission you have to pay to get access to the incredible long-term growth the market can offer. If you can see it like that, as just the cost of entry, you'll find it so much easier to stay in the game long enough for compounding to really work its magic.
And all of this brings us to our final section. We've talked about our psychology, our behavior, the power of time. But what is it all for? What's the actual end goal here?
It's not about the stuff. It's not about impressing your neighbors. The single greatest thing money can buy is freedom. It's the ability to control your own life, your own schedule, your own choices. That is the ultimate prize.
And the path to get there is surprisingly simple, which is not the same as easy. It all starts with saving money, not to buy a specific thing, but just for the sake of saving. That creates a gap, a buffer, that gives you options. The option to change jobs, to wait for a better opportunity, to handle a surprise medical bill without panicking. And ultimately, it gives you the ability to wake up one morning and say, I can do whatever I want today.
And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important question of all. The modern world is basically a treadmill of always wanting more. It's a game that is specifically designed so that you can never, ever win. The only way to get off that treadmill is to decide for yourself where the finish line is. So I'll leave you with this. What does enough truly mean to you? Answering that one question might be the most important financial decision you ever make.